Holy smokes, we just got some fascinating insights into what the San Francisco 49ers think about their biggest issues from last season. And trust me, there's a lot to break down. Today, we're diving into an intriguing non-move and a revealing decision by the team, along with some wild behind-the-scenes reports that could change everything. So, buckle up, because this is going to be interesting. Let's get straight to the point. One of the biggest problems for the 49ers last season was their defensive line. The big question is, could they have added reinforcements in free agency? Just yesterday, I talked about a player who seemed like a great fit, but now we can call it a non-move. That's because the player in question, Osa Odigizwa, just signed with the Philadelphia Eagles on a one-year, $4 million deal. And here's the kicker. Could the 49ers really not have matched that offer? Their decision not to go after him says a lot about how they view their defensive line and their strategy for addressing it. All signs point to them planning to fix this issue through the draft. If they had intended to strengthen the defensive line in free agency, they probably would have done it by now. There are still some notable names available, but most of them are aging veterans. So, it's becoming pretty clear that the 49ers are prioritizing the draft for defensive help. Another crucial point. It looks like the team is giving Chris Kukurek full control over rebuilding the defensive front. He has a strong track record of developing talented linemen, and the organization seems to trust him to shape the unit rather than spending big on outside signings. And here's another possibility. The 49ers might be actively avoiding players with injury histories. Odigizwa has had some injury concerns in the past, and the team has let go of several players in recent years for similar reasons. So, maybe this decision wasn't just about money, but about maintaining a certain standard for durability. But what if there's an entirely different reason behind these moves? What if the team is holding back for a bigger plan? Brandon Ayuk's name has been floating around in trade rumors. And here's something interesting. A Boston-based journalist, Greg Bedard, recently said he believes in his bones that the New England Patriots will acquire a top-tier wide receiver via trade. He specifically mentioned A.J. Brown and, of course, Ayuk, saying that the latter is the most realistic option given the 49ers' current situation. This means there could be some serious negotiations happening behind the scenes. Maybe the team is waiting to see if they can acquire defensive line, help through a trade before making any other major moves. And there's a crucial deadline, April 1st. After that date, certain contract guarantees kick in. So if the 49ers are planning to move Ayuk, they need to act fast. But here's the catch. Financial restrictions are real. Kyle Juszczyk recently spoke in an interview and repeated twice. The financial restrictions we're under are real. This shows that it's not just media speculation. Players in the locker room are feeling it too. This cap situation could affect negotiations with key players like George Kittle and Fred Warner, making the front office's decisions even more complicated. Now, let's talk about the biggest issue the 49ers faced last season. It might surprise some people, but it wasn't the defensive line, it wasn't the lack of separation from receivers, and it wasn't even the absence of a deep threat. In fact, according to Warren Sharp, Brock Purdy had the most accurate deep passes on go routes in 2024. The real problem? Complementary football. The 49ers struggled to play as a cohesive unit, balancing offense, defense, and special teams. And it looks like the front office recognized that and took action. One of their latest signings is a special teams ace, Siran Neal. This guy has over 2,000 snaps of special teams experience and could bring much-needed stability to a unit that was wildly inconsistent last season. And here's something even more interesting. Neal played 6 seasons with the Buffalo Bills before a short stint with the Miami Dolphins. And guess who also came from Buffalo? The 49ers' new special teams coordinator, Brant Boyer. So, there's a clear connection there. Could it be that the 49ers are trying to build one of the best special teams units in the league? What's becoming clear with all these moves is that the 49ers are focusing heavily on the draft. Most of their recent signings have been players with special teams experience, but we haven't seen major additions to core positions. This suggests that the front office is relying on the draft to fill key roster holes. And that can be risky because, generally, teams avoid drafting purely based on need. But it looks like that's exactly what the 49ers are doing. We're now just 37 days away from the most important draft of the Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch era. And until then, anything can happen. What do you think? Are the 49ers making the right moves, or are they missing out on key opportunities? But hold on, because there's even more to this story. The 49ers' lack of movement in free agency raises a major question. What exactly is their long-term strategy? The team has cap space, but they're avoiding making big moves. This could mean they're saving money for future contract extensions, particularly for Brandon Ayuk. But if the plan is to trade him, they need to act fast because time is running out. Another interesting factor is how heavily the team seems to be relying on the draft. The lack of signings at key positions, like the defensive line, suggests that the 49ers believe they can find the right pieces among the rookies. The problem with this approach is the risk involved. Relying on newly drafted players to fill immediate needs can be dangerous, especially for a team that was just one step away from a Super Bowl victory. Chris Kukurek, the defensive line coach, has a strong reputation for developing talent, and it looks like the front office fully trusts him to rebuild the unit. But is internal development alone going to be enough? The team has lost key defensive linemen, and without quality replacements, they could struggle next season. Betting everything on the draft might work, but if it doesn't, the 49ers could be wasting a prime championship window. And then there's the issue of special teams. The team has already added some players with experience in this area, like Siran Neal, showing that the front office recognizes the need for improvement. But will these additions really make a difference? Last season, special teams were a major liability, and simply bringing in a few new faces may not be enough to fix the problem. The biggest concern is balance. Improving special teams is important, but it shouldn't come at the cost of strengthening the offense and defense. The 49ers still have gaps in their roster, and if they rely solely on the draft to address them, they must be absolutely precise with their picks. The question remains, is this cautious approach the right move, or are they being too passive? There's also the possibility that the 49ers are planning a major trade behind the scenes. The fact that they're holding on to cap space could mean they're preparing to acquire a big-name player. It could be a defensive lineman, or it could be a wide receiver to replace Ayuk if he's dealt. The draft might be the perfect moment for such a move, so we should keep an eye on any developments in the coming weeks. No matter what happens, one thing is clear. The 49ers front office is walking a fine line. This team has one of the tightest Super Bowl windows in the NFL, and any mistakes in roster construction could be costly. If they hit on their draft picks and their special teams additions make an impact, the strategy could pay off. But if they miss, it could mean another season of falling just short of the ultimate goal. Another factor to consider is the financial impact in the long run. Players like George Kittle and Fred Warner will eventually need new deals, and keeping a competitive roster requires smart planning. Maybe the front office is thinking beyond 2024 and trying to build a sustainable team for years to come, which would explain their reluctance to make big signings right now. The problem is that the NFL moves fast. If the 49ers aren't aggressive enough this offseason, they could fall behind. Other teams are strengthening their rosters, and the competition at the top of the NFC is only getting tougher. They can't afford to sit back and wait too long to make key moves. The truth is, with just over a month until the draft, the 49ers' future is still uncertain. They might be making the right moves, or they might be letting valuable opportunities slip away. What do you think? Are they playing this smart, or should they be making bigger moves in the market? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The buzz surrounding the San Francisco 49ers and a potential move for DK Metcalf is escalating to unprecedented levels. After months of speculation, could this dynamic wide receiver, fresh off his trade to the Pittsburgh Steelers and up in the Bay Area? The 49ers, always eager to bolster their roster with elite talent, may be looking to capitalize on Metcalf's proven ability to dominate on the field. What would this acquisition mean for their offense? Could Metcalf be the final piece in their quest for another Super Bowl? Metcalf's recent trade to the Steelers in 2025 raised eyebrows across the NFL, but the 49ers' interest remains a tantalizing mystery. The Seahawks' decision to trade their star receiver after a productive career in Seattle leaves many wondering if the 49ers, with their championship ambitions, might pounce. His combination of size, speed, and physicality could elevate an already potent offense that includes Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. The question on everyone's lips is whether the 49ers are willing to make a bold move for the right price. With their offensive playmaking core, Metcalf could be the difference between a successful playoff run and a missed opportunity. Adding Metcalf to the 49ers' wide receiver group would create a nightmare for defensive coordinators. His ability to stretch the field and win contested catches is well documented, with his breakout moments during the 2023 and 2024 seasons solidifying his status as one of the league's top threats. Yet, with the 49ers known for their strong front office and shrewd decisions, would they be willing to pay the hefty price tag that comes with acquiring Metcalf? The Steelers reportedly handed him a 5-year, $150 million extension, making him a major investment. Could the 49ers front office believe that this investment would push them over the top? The 49ers have been no strangers to making big moves in the past, and the addition of Metcalf could be one such game changer. While they have been successful with their current wideouts, Metcalf's explosiveness offers another dimension that could complement their already explosive offense. His physical presence would demand attention, potentially opening up opportunities for other playmakers to shine. But with their cap space and roster decisions always under scrutiny, how will the 49ers manage this potential blockbuster move without disrupting their current chemistry? The future of DK Metcalf is bound to continue making headlines. While fans and analysts speculate about the possible trade that could reshape the 49ers' offense, the anticipation is only growing. What's clear is that if this deal were to happen, the 49ers could very well become one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. But for now, the only thing we know for certain is that Metcalf's future in San Francisco is one of the hottest topics in the NFL, and fans are eager to see how it unfolds. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.